Hey guys, welcome to the Movie Champs show. This is episode 18.
And the start of
season 2. So some of you guys might notice that we have a bit of a different background.
Yes, we do.
And I'm hoping that you guys can see that we are using a totally different camera.
Yeah,
we have new lighting. We have new tablecloth. Mm-hmm. Pretty much all new stuff. This is actually very exciting.
Yes. It's like starting over again.
It is like starting over. Let's just hope that it stays better than when we were on our first episode.
Yeah. Oh, it's any episode's better than episode 1.
Oh yes. Oh, thank gosh, my keyboard's finally working.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyways, guys, for this episode, we want to talk about. We have just a quick news story we want to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit about the Golden Globes. We're going to talk. What else are we talking about? Our most anticipated movies of 2018.
Permanent.
And we have some movie reviews. We're going to talk about the movie Permanent. We're going to be talking about Paddington 2. We're going to be talking about
The Shape of Water.
Insidious The Last Key. There's a lot of movies we were catching up on, and some of the new ones that just came out. Oh, and Proud Mary. Proud Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all of them?
That's all of them. All 5.
Okay, thank goodness.
Mm-hmm.
That's we got a lot. We got a pretty good stacked show for our season 2 premiere.
I don't know if you may be aware, but if you look in the bottom corner, they can see a piece of the soundboard.
Oh, hey Zach, how could you fix that? Can you? I didn't notice. No, the camera, Zach. The camera. Oh. Move the camera a little bit. Sorry, or you can zoom. There you go. Not that much. Right there.
Right there. That's perfect. Just enough so they don't see it.
Oh, that'll work. Right there. Perfect. Leave it alone. You fixed it. We have it.
Yes. I just wanted to bring that to attention before we got deep into the show and someone said something about it.
Yep. So, and if you guys notice, Zach's here.
Yes. Hey.
He's gonna join us for our after show,
which will be moving to Twitch on the Geek Champs channel.
The Geek Champs channel. That's twitch.tv/geekchamps. So if you don't know what we do on our after show, we like to play games. It's an interactive game that we like to play with the audience. Usually our audience is fairly small, so I'm hoping that...
helps that we move to Twitch to make it a little bigger.
Yes.
So we get more craziness to go down.
Yes. So even whether you're a participator or
just in the audience,
a speculator, one of the two. It's always entertaining. Spectator, not a
speculator. Just dudes who ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Why?
We encourage questions.
Yeah, we do encourage questions here too. If you have any while you watch the show, drop them in the comment. We'll try to answer them either through the chat or on air.
Yes. So we're going to go ahead and move over to our first. Actually, we're talking about a news story. Actually, So this news story is about some movies that have been moved around.
Yes.
So let's see. I know we're gonna. It was Deadpool 2.
Yeah, Deadpool 2 got moved to May 18th.
Yes, May 18th. So it's going to be coming out a week before Star Wars
Solo.
Yeah, the Solo movie.
Mm-hmm.
Han Solo. So that was actually moved for 2 weeks from. It was going to be in June, early June, the first week of June.
And June 1st, as a matter of fact.
June 1st. So it got moved to May 18th.
Uh-huh.
And then what was the other?
Gambit got moved.
4
months
and
later.
They lost its director.
Yeah.
So Gore Verbinski's no longer directing Gambit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another shake-up there.
And lastly, the New Mutants, the movie that's supposed to come out in April, got moved all the way to sometime next year.
That's the big one. That is the big one. They got moved back almost an entire year.
You know what I think? All these moves are related to one thing.
It's the Disney thing.
The Disney move. Here's why I say this. The Deadpool move makes sense. Because now, before, Deadpool was competition. Now, Deadpool is their property.
Yeah.
They don't want to cannibalize their own audience.
True.
So they come out the week before Han Solo now, rake all the Deadpool money. The next week, make all the Han Solo money. And it all goes into the same pot regardless.
I mean, I don't know if it's not going in the same pot just yet, though. It's still not even a finalized.
It's not finalized, but I believe it's going to clear.
Right.
Because it's so much that it's something that both sides want,
right?
And it's gonna and what Disney wants to do with it is going to create something new.
Yes.
So it's not going to take something away without putting something back.
Oh yes.
So I think it's going to go through fine.
But also, I heard that the New Mutants wasn't testing well with test audiences. So
well,
I think they wanted to added a little bit more of a horror element to it, and I was a little disappointed when I heard that this is actually going to be a PG-13 movie.
I always thought it was going to be R.
Nope. They said I forgot who it was. I think somebody in the producers or something said that they are trying to make a PG-13 horror movie. So I was disappointed about that part.
Yeah, that does sound disappointing. Maybe
So,
that's why it took them so much longer, because they have to retool the movie from what was originally supposed to be an R-rated horror flick to essentially an X-Men movie.
Yes. So so that part was a little bit disappointing, but I mean everything else. I mean, I was really looking forward to that movie. Coming out soon. They already had the trailer, and the trailer looked pretty good, but.
Trailer did look pretty interesting. I will give it credit for that.
So if this is just going to hopefully make the movie better, then
hopefully.
Yes. So I think that's all the movies as far as that was part of that.
You don't think the shuffling around has anything to do with the MCU, do you?
The MCU.
Like them also now looking ahead. How can we add references to these movies now? Technically, since they're in the same universe now. Because
I didn't even think about it that way.
Because by 2019, the deal may be finalized.
That actually sounds like a more a better explanation, maybe.
Because Deadpool 2 can kind of be, like we talked about on the last show, Deadpool could be the back door.
So since they're I don't know if they're still shooting the next X-Men movie.
Dark Phoenix?
Dark Phoenix. I know they're...
Doesn't that come out later this year, or does that next year?
It's later this year, I believe. So,
wow, that's coming up. Yeah.
So I wonder if they're tying a little bit more into the MCU with that one. Maybe.
Yeah. I think all these movies shuffling around, it's now that they've pretty much going to feel that they're going to have the rights to this stuff by next year.
Right.
They can actually just tinker and play with the toys now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most of the MCU movies they tie loosely to each other anyway, so it doesn't. I don't know how much of that might be. I don't know. But I mean, everything's after the Avengers: Infinity War, so there might be a completely different style universe going on.
Oh yeah, I think after Avengers 4, the next one, that's where everything changes.
Okay.
'Cause I think that's the big once that movie's done, that's like the big Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah.
That shakes everything up.
Okay. Well, I think that's all we need to talk about for that story. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our next one, which is the Golden Globes recap. For this one, I wanted to talk specifically about the movies that won, the actors that won, and certain movies and actors that we believe might see a repeat over at the Oscars as far as winning. And as far as maybe things that got snubbed at the Golden Globes that we think might actually win and the Oscars. So was there... let me pull up this winners list real quick.
Okay.
See if we can talk for a second.
All right. Yeah.
Did you watch any of the Golden Globes or anything?
I peeked at it throughout the day.
Yeah. The Golden Globes is actually I hate the Golden Globes, to be honest with you. I hate the Golden Globes because it's a fake award show to me. Specifically, I mean, if you need more proof than to see Christopher Plummer, now I no doubt believe that he may have deserved a Golden Globe, but he was nominated before the movie was even released. And the movie was nominated before the movie was even before the movie was even finished. Not released, finished. It was nominated. So, if you need any more proof than that the Golden Globes is one of the fakest movie award shows out there, no further than that.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie wasn't even done, but it already had 2 nods.
Yeah.
Unless they screw... most times, though, what I've learned is that the reason that is that certain critics get copies sent to their house.
Oh yeah, yeah. They get the screeners and stuff.
So that probably makes sense that
he saw. I mean, he probably saw the original Kevin Spacey cut, maybe. But I mean, like I said, they were all nominated before the movie was even finished yet. So, so for Best Picture, the nominees we had were 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
This is drama, right?
Oh yes. Oh, sorry, for drama, best motion picture drama. There was Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri, which was the winner. There was Call Me By Your Name, Dunkirk, The Post, and The Shape of Water. I feel like all of those are going to be nominated for Best Picture. And hopefully Lady Bird and what else? Your favorite.
Get Out.
Get Out. Receive nominations also in that category, because I believe that category can go up to 10. But lately they haven't been going that high.
They've been like 7, 8. Yeah, they need 10 this year.
Yeah.
Because there's so many good movies that you can add.
If you guys didn't see our top 10 best and worst of last year, I think he stands by his list completely. I had some hesitations with my lists. There's a lot. Actually, I don't think you can stand by yours completely, because we both forgot the movie It.
Yes, we both forgot
It.
How did we forget It? Episode 1 of the show.
Yes. So yeah, there was a couple movies that we forgot that were not on our list that we wish that we could redo. But that's in the past now. This is season 2.
But we, as an active patricians, Walker here did go out and buy It on 4K Blu-ray.
Yes, I did go out and buy it on 4K Blu-ray.
So if we didn't like the movie enough, neither one of us, he brought it on 4K Blu-ray, and I'm going to buy it real soon myself.
Yes. So don't hate us completely.
Don't hate us completely. We're just forgetful.
We apologize for this for some movies that didn't end up there. So this one was for Best Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy, which is obviously going to be more of an extension on the Best Picture category, because they don't have that category.
They don't have that category there, and the musical comedy category, I think they need to either broaden that definition a little more,
absolutely,
or add a third option, because I don't quite feel like movies like
Lady Bird was not a comedy. It had some funny parts in it, but it wasn't necessarily straight up comedy.
Same with Get Out.
Yes. Get Out wasn't a straight up comedy either. There's some funny part. There's definitely some funny parts in there, but
there's very, very humorous moments, but it's still a very tense horror movie.
Yes.
So I don't agree with either. He doesn't agree with Lady Bird being in that category. I don't agree with Get It Out. We both agreed that those two movies don't belong in that category.
Yes.
But with those 5 movies in the drama category, there was no room for them, but only 2 go in this category.
And I should mention, this is not our Oscar predictions. This is strictly what won and what was nominated at the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
We're going to actually have our Oscar predictions after the actual nominations are announced, which I believe is in another 2 weeks.
Okay.
So, anyways, the winner for the... That was a moth.
No.
What was that? Did you flick that?
It came out my fingers.
Okay.
I'll put that down now.
Okay. Anyways, so Best Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy, the winner was Lady Bird. The nominees also were I, Tonya, Disaster Artist, Get Out, and The Greatest Showman. If you're asking me my opinion, what's on this list that will not be nominated for Best Picture in the Oscars is going to be The Greatest Showman.
Oh, of course.
There's no reason for it to have even been nominated for the Golden Globes.
Well, it was the only musical.
True.
To throw on the list.
The only one on the list that actually matched the category. So I guess that makes sense then.
They couldn't just have 5 quote unquote comedies in the musical category.
Right.
They had to throw. It's like one of those everybody gets one moments. Right. Great Showman, this is yours, and that's going on the box.
Yes.
That's going on the Blu-ray box.
Yes.
Nominated Golden Globe Best Picture. That's it. That's all it needs to say.
Yeah. So here's the best performance by an actress in a motion picture. Frances McDormand, the winner. Sally Hawkins, nominee. Meryl Streep. Sally Hawkins was nominated for The Shape of Water. Meryl Streep for The Post. Michelle Williams for All the Money in the World, and Jessica Chastain for Molly's Game. So I don't see anything wrong with that list of Best Actress nominees. Frances McDormand probably would be my choice for the winner in that category. She was probably the most interesting performance out of all 5 of those actors. I know probably a lot of people would probably maybe say root for Jessica Chastain for Molly's Game. But I mean, obviously Meryl Streep is going to get nominated, but I haven't seen The Post yet, so I can't comment on that performance just yet. But anyways, I would be surprised if Jessica Chastain or if Frances McDormand doesn't receive a nomination for the Oscars, and I definitely think she deserves to win, but we'll see. Anyways, and now here's best performance by an actor in a motion picture drama. Gary Oldman for The Darkest Hour, Timothy Chalamet for Call Me By Your Name, Daniel Day-Lewis for Phantom Thread, Tom Hanks for The Post, and Denzel Washington for Roman J.
Israel Esquire.
If I can almost guarantee you that Gary Oldman is going to be nominated, or is going to be maybe possibly win. Now, where this category might change up for the Oscars, though, you will probably maybe see James Franco on the list. He would have been my pick for the winner. I haven't seen The Darkest Hour yet, but I do hear so much chatter about Gary Oldman winning this as just more of like a Lifetime Achievement Award, not so much over his performance, which that's not a knock against his performance, but for real, that's how they kind of do the Oscars sometimes.
They kind of like, well...
If we can fit him in here this time, we might actually give him a win.
Yeah, if he shows up this time, we got to give it to him.
Yeah, but this is also Daniel Day-Lewis's final movie. I should put the quotes around the final part.
Yeah, because everybody said they've done acting, but then all of a sudden, there's always one more they do.
Right. So, I haven't seen this movie yet, the Phantom Thread, but I hear it's pretty boring, which is kind of par for the course.
For Daniel Day-Lewis?
Well, not for Daniel Day-Lewis, but for the guy that directed it. What's his name? Zach, who's the director of Phantom Thread? What's up? Oh, what was the comment?
It was just Jonathan.
Oh, Jonathan. Okay, well, that's not something you need to point out for me.
I don't know movie stuff.
Okay, so so look up the director. I can't remember I'm so bad that I'm so upset that I'm forgetting his name.
What's the name of the movie?
Phantom Thread with Daniel Day-Lewis. Anyways,
Paul Thomas Anderson.
Par for the course for Paul Thomas Anderson movies. It's not. I mean, I like Magnolia and I like There Will Be Blood, but there's some of his movies are a drag. So I don't know. I thought Phantom Thread looked interesting. I'm still going to go see it, especially for Daniel Day-Lewis. But
you do that.
You don't have to go. You don't have to go with me.
Because that sounds like a nap movie. Like I'll be caught up. Sleep.
Dog, did I say Frances well, no. Okay, here's best performance for actresses in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. The winner was Saoirse Ronan for Lady Bird. Judi Dench was nominated for Victoria and Abdul. Helen Mirren was nominated for The Leisure Seeker. Margot Robbie for I, Tonya, and Emma Stone for Battle of the Sexes. So Saoirse Ronan won for Lady Bird. I don't know necessarily that she would deserve to win an Oscar, but she definitely deserves to be nominated. She's my nominee, but I don't think she's my winner yet.
Okay.
So I definitely think Frances McDormand had a little bit more emotional range in that movie.
Because see that what the Golden Globes does by separating them into those two distinct areas like that, it ensures that someone you like wins.
Yes. Whereas
with the Oscars, it's more cutthroat because they have to share the same pool now.
Yes. And I haven't seen Helen Mirren's or Judi Dench's movies. I want to see I, Tonya.
I do too.
I definitely think Margot Robbie will get nominated.
Yeah.
Emma Stone is my wild card right now as far as if she's going to receive a nomination.
Yeah.
She won last year, so...
Probably not. She already has hers.
I don't think she's going to win, but I think she might get a nomination in there. She might pull a Jennifer Lawrence, but who knows. Okay, so... Here's best performance by an actor in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. The winner was James Franco for The Disaster Artist. Daniel Kaluuya was nominated for Get Out. Steve Carell was nominated for Battle of the Sexes. Ansel Elgort was nominated for Baby Driver, and Hugh Jackman was nominated for The Greatest Showman.
Hugh Jackman.
Will not receive a nomination, at least not for
Greatest Showman.
Yeah, not for The Greatest Showman. We really are holding out that he might actually get
it for Logan.
Get for Logan.
Yeah.
Yes,
that would be like what, the second time a comic book movie been nominated in that category?
Yes. Oh yeah, since the Dark. Well, that would be Best Supporting Actor.
I thought he led one just Best Actor.
He was Best Supporting Actor.
Still wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Supporting Actor or Actor, they're still the big one of the big categories.
That's one of the big categories, and I really hope he gets it for Logan.
I want him to get it for Logan, but I kind of want Daniel Kaluuya to win.
That's the wild card there.
He's kind of like my favorite to win because his performance was just so he had to play so many different areas of his character throughout that movie. He had to play a guy that who pretended to not know what was going on while being the smartest guy in the room.
True. Yeah, I mean there was a lot of range in Get Out.
Yeah.
It would just be a wild card for that one, but I think man, that's a tough the lead actor was the toughest category. Supporting actor is pretty tough category too, but they don't have do they have a supporting? They do have supporting. Okay, we're starting that right now. Actually,
yeah, we're getting there.
Okay, so I landed on a best actor. I said it would probably be James Franco or Gary Oldman for the top, but I definitely think Hugh Jackman should be nominated, and if he won, that'd be great either way. So anyways, best performance by an actress in a supporting role in any motion picture. The winner was Allison Janney for I, Tonya. The nominee was, or for nominations, we have Mary J. Blige for Mudbound, Hong Chow for Downsizing, Laurie Metcalf for Lady Bird, and Octavia Spencer for Shape of Water. The Best Supporting Actress category was probably more exciting for me than the actual Best Actress category for the Oscars, especially for these nominees. It would be so cool to see Mary J. Blige get nominated for Best Supporting Actress.
That would be cool.
For Mudbound.
She was good in it.
Yes, and also for Laurie Metcalf. I would love to see an all-new slate of women nominated for Best Supporting Actress, because Laurie Metcalf was so awesome in Lady Bird, and she's probably my favorite one on the list. Actually, I still haven't seen I, Tonya, but I do agree that Allison Janney, just from what I've seen of it so far, puts on an amazing performance in that movie.
Yeah, my dad's already saw I, Tonya, and he enjoyed it a lot.
Really?
He told me to see it.
Dang.
And he usually doesn't seek out movies like this.
Right.
But the fact that he watched it and told me to watch it, I'm like, I have to see this movie.
Yes. So I'm gonna go try to check it out sometime. Maybe I have the weekend and Monday off, so I might go see it this week, and we'll maybe have a review for it next week. But I did think Hong Chow was interesting in Downsizing. It would be cool if she got nominated for Best Supporting, because she was by far the best performance in that movie, even if it was kind of I don't know, it was stereotypical, but she still showed the most range out of anybody in that movie. Okay. I thought she was pretty good. Okay, so best performance by an actor in a supporting role in any motion picture. The winner was Sam Rockwell for Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Willem Dafoe was nominated for The Florida Project. Armie Hammer was nominated for Call Me By Your Name. Richard Jenkins was nominated for The Shape of Water, and Christopher Plummer was nominated for All the Money in the World. Dang. Okay, so that's a pretty awesome category right there. I don't think there's going to be a name, any of these names missing in the Oscars.
No, that ballot's going to be pretty
identical. Sam Rockwell was awesome in Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. He was probably one of my second favorite character in that movie. Mm-hmm. And I still haven't seen The Florida Project, but I hear Willem Dafoe is outstanding in that movie. Man, Richard. I'm going to talk about Richard Jenkins' performance a little later, and when I review The Shape of Water. Mm-hmm. And Christopher Plummer. Don't know why he was. Like I said, he was thrown in there. But I mean, I'm not knocking his performance because I haven't seen the movie. But like I said, he was just thrown in there before the movie was even done, which is weird. Mm-hmm. So. But I don't see that list. I would love to see Christopher Plummer win, but definitely don't think it's going to be a winner as far as who he's going up against. So let's see. Best Director Motion Picture. The winner was Guillermo del Toro for The Shape of Water. Martin McDonagh was nominated for Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Christopher Nolan was nominated for Dunkirk. Ridley Scott was nominated for All the Money in the World, and Steven Spielberg was nominated for The Post. So, I'm going to talk about Guillermo del Toro's directing performance a little later when we get to the review for The Shape of Water.
And to be perfectly honest, Ridley Scott?
Not out.
Jordan Peele?
Yes, and also Lady Bird. What's her name?
Yeah,
Greta Gerwig.
Yeah,
Greta Gerwig. I would take out Steven Spielberg and Ridley Scott and put in Greta Gerwig and
Jordan Peele. Yeah, because Get Out for a first-time director, that felt so nuanced.
Yes.
That he's been like crafting that for he's been that's been in the chair for years for to have that level of detail down for his first movie.
I think you and I are pretty much locked in, are in agreement that Greta Gerwig should win for Best Director and that Jordan Peele should win for Best Director, because those were outstanding directorial debuts from two brand new directors, people that were normally known for their acting, going into this directing and knocking it out of the park with two great movies.
Yeah,
because I think even viewers would agree that those two movies were probably more outstanding to them than any of these 5 movies were to other people.
Yeah, that was.
So I would definitely agree with you as far as that these two new directors definitely did be in that category. So we can skip the best screen. We're going to actually be done with this list now. Those are just the categories I wanted to talk about. We don't need to talk about best screenplay or anything like that, because that's going to be part when we do our actual Oscar nomination predictions. No, we're not going to predict the nominations. We're going to predict the winner. Should we predict the nominations?
We kind of just did.
We did kind of just do that. So yeah, we can. We're going to predict the winners. We're going to do our Oscar prediction winners after the nominations are announced. And it'll be a little more extensive, and we'll have better graphics up, so that way it's a little more pleasing to the eye when we talk about it. So, but for this, I just wanted to talk about those few nominations and what we think might get repeated. Now,
we all can agree on one more.
Can I actually go? Actually, I do want to go one more category. If it was,
because animated is not important. We know Coco's going to win.
I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, I haven't even seen Coco yet still, but I know it's going to win.
Okay, this is the category I wanted to cover just real quick. It's best original song for motion picture. I wanted to see what was nominated and what won. This Is Me, Justin Paul, and Ben Pasek were nominated, or were actually won for The Greatest Showman. Mighty River was nominated from Mudbound. Remember Me was nominated from Coco. The Star was nominated from The Star, and Home was nominated from Ferdinand. So if I was looking at these 5 movies, or these 5 songs, I think the winner actually won. I agree. This Is Me was the best song out of all 5 of those movies, and deserved to win. And that's the only thing that needs to win from the movie The Greatest Showman. So that's just something I wanted to cover real quick.
Okay.
So I didn't know that it actually won until I just looked at the list just now.
Okay.
So I'm glad that it actually won, and I'm glad that it got nominated, and I think it deserves. That's the only thing from the Oscars.
Okay.
So we're gonna move on to our next subject, which is our. Let me put the graphic up in case I cut it that way. So. This is the most anticipated movies of 2018.
He can't talk tonight.
Can't talk tonight. Anticipated.
I didn't want to call you out for it earlier, but since you did that mess up, I got to call you out on the other one.
What's the other one?
Pacifically.
We're
close to an ocean, people.
Yes. Not that ocean, though. Right? Wait. Oh my God.
It's because.
Yeah. You have no idea how many people I know say Pacifically, though.
Yeah, it's
and it bothers
things.
me, so I don't know.
It's one of those things. It rubs off on you. It's like,
Yep. So it's rubbed off on me finally. Okay, so let's see. So we got 2018 movie releases. We're gonna pull up that calendar real quick here.
Okay.
Here's the major movie releases that are coming out, and we'll look at this and we'll figure out if this is something that we're excited to see. So we obviously know the big ones like Avengers Infinity War, Deadpool 2. Those are something that we're excited to see. I thought I was going to be excited to see the Jurassic World sequel.
Yeah,
until I saw the trailer. Doesn't look that good.
No, Jurassic World looks like what I thought. Jurassic World 2 looks like what I thought Jurassic World 1 was going to be.
Yeah, and what's it? Fallen Kingdom? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah, Fallen Kingdom. It's
I don't
a dumb
know
title too.
That's a dumb subtitle.
I think it's a callback to something that I don't know.
It might be another book in the Jurassic franchise.
Yeah, so
As a book.
I mean, I need to see another trailer maybe, and it'll build my anticipation because I love those dinosaur movies, and I love the Jurassic. I like Jurassic World. I didn't love Jurassic World, but I like Jurassic World. So as far as what this sequel is going to be, I don't know. I'm not excited from that first trailer. So, what you looking at?
I'm looking. Apparently, AntMan 2 comes out this year.
AntMan The Wasp? What's the release date for it?
July 2018.
That's something I did not know about.
I did not know neither.
Well,
so that's another movie. That's another one I'm looking for.
So I wonder when we're going to see it. Well, we don't need to see a trailer for that just yet because there's so many more. That's weird.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why we didn't see so much of him in the Infinity War trailer because, wow, dope. Okay.
Okay. I'm looking through the list. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Obviously, that intrigues me because of the MCU. But that Ready Player One.
Ready Player One looks really awesome.
That looks awesome. That looks like that could be like something that I'll tell my kids about if it's good.
If it's good, yeah. I mean, it looks like I think they picked the best director for that movie.
Oh yeah, of course. It's pretty much all his movies rolled into. It's pretty much all the stuff from his movies he either directed or produced back then thrown into one movie. Of course, it's him.
My problem is with those movies is how big this movie has to be, because it's so hard when directors go for such big movies to pull it off. So I'm hoping he can pull it off. But
that's Steven Spielberg.
Yes, he's
done that hand over fist 1,000 times.
He does the big. He's the first. He's the one that started the big movie.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a blockbuster season without him.
Right. So that's what he does best is blockbusters. I'm not so into his smaller movies except for like some of the older ones. But
yeah, also
he doesn't do the smaller movies as well anymore.
There's also like there's Incredibles 2. That's gonna be the. But I'm also intrigued by that Peter Jackson movie, Mortal Engines.
Oh yeah, did you saw that trailer?
I did.
It looks awesome, right?
It looks it's like Mad Max with cities.
Yes, exactly.
I'm like,
I didn't even know that movie was happening. That was so awesome. Who came up
with this, and how can I see this movie now?
Yes, I am so excited to see that. That was like a little teaser too. It was really neat. 1 minute trailer. You got to check that out.
Yeah, check out the Mortal Engines trailer, and you understand why we're excited. Another movie I'm excited to see, but for their entirely different reason, Peter Rabbit.
Oh boy, you're just ready to trash that one.
I'm ready to tear that movie to pieces because I saw a new trailer to that movie today before I saw Paddington 2.
Really? Oh, yeah.
Domhnall Gleeson is in this movie.
Domhnall Gleeson, yeah.
He kung fu fights a rabbit.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right, so he had a good year last year, so let's hope this isn't going to ruin him.
Let's hope this isn't the beginning of him being in like the Alvin and the Chipmunk style movies. From this
don't Jason Lee.
Please don't Jason Lee Domhnall Gleeson, especially when he has one more Star Wars movie to do.
Yeah, Hux is.
Yeah, bring Hux. It's like the way they treated Hux in that movie was like preparation. Like, well, he's gonna get treated even worse than Peter Rabbit, right. So better get used to it now.
Okay, and then one I'm mildly intrigued about, I'm not quite there yet, is, what is that?
A Wrinkle in Time?
A Wrinkle in Time.
I'm kind of on the fence about that one, too, because it looks too out there.
Yeah.
It looks like it could be a good story if reined in properly, but we can only judge by what they're showing us. And
right.
It looks like...
And they got a good director, but this is literally her biggest movie that she's ever done, so that's always really hard for these indie directors to pull off.
You got to take into account that a lot of the MCU movies were a lot of
true indie
directors' first big movie.
Right.
Taika Waititi did Thor Ragnarok.
So they're in good hands as far as with Disney.
Yeah, the Disney's gonna make sure it's gonna stay somewhat on the rails.
Yes. So,
like Aquaman, but like a movie like Aquaman, though, I don't know how I feel about that. Right. I'm not gonna say no more because I don't want to come off as a fanboy. So let's just keep moving. Again, but I don't know how I feel about Venom neither.
Right.
So it's on both sides of the fence. Aquaman and Venom sitting in that same boat of, did we really need a movie based on this character alone?
And and Pacific Rim Uprising.
Yeah, that's another one I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, the trailer didn't sell me on it just yet, and I wasn't a huge fan of the first Pacific Rim. So, I don't know. I'll go see it, but we'll see.
Annihilation is another one that intrigues
that
me.
Looks really good. That's from the one of the Ex Machina, right?
Yeah.
So Ex Machina was an awesome movie.
X-Men, Dark Phoenix, duh. You know I'm going to be there for that.
Yeah, I'm going to be there for it. But, I mean, I still want to see how different this is going to be.
50 Shades Freed is coming.
Absolutely not. Zach and I watched that trailer when we watched Shape of Water. And
we have to do our jobs.
We have to. I have to finally see some crappy movies. So
yeah, we can't. Like someone said, like I was watching Double Toasted earlier today. You can't see what you want. You got to see what the other stuff too.
Right.
So
yeah,
we have to suffer through the trilogy.
If I'm going to have a top 10
worst list
at the end of this year,
you have to see the bad stuff too.
Yes. Because I had some good ones on my bad list.
Like neither of us saw Chips.
Right. Oh, no, I saw Chips. I just forgot to put it on the list.
See, we forgot things on both ends.
I put it on the thumbnail. I put it in the thumbnail, and I did not put it on my list for some reason.
But it was that forgettable.
It was that forgettable.
Oh, Wreck-It Ralph 2 comes out this year.
Okay, that one I really am excited to see because I heard some really cool stuff about it from people that saw a preview of it at
D23.
D23, yes. What's up?
Night Hippie says you must see a Walker.
Okay. Night Hippie
Also read this.
said I need to see it. You put episode number.
Not out loud, but
Fix it then. Okay, I have to fix that now. Okay,
Yeah.
keep going down the list.
I'll keep going down the list.
Look at my phone.
not important right now.
It is important.
The Meg looks like it's a cheap throwback to 90s.
Oh, Meg I thought was going to be something awesome, and
Yeah.
it's shaping out to be something absolutely terrible.
Oh, Show Dogs looks stupid too.
I didn't see that trailer yet. I saw that it was released. Is it really, really bad?
9 Lives level.
9 Lives. Oh,
Nine Lives level.
No.
Yes.
Dang. That sounds awful. What's up?
You can just have Night Hippie go see it and then write her review. We'll just use her review.
Isle of Dogs.
She would never forgive us if we said
I saw that trailer again. That looked good.
Isle of Dogs? Yes. Isle of Dogs. Zach thought it looked dumb. I can't wait to see it. Zach is not sold on Wes Anderson at all.
I almost maybe knock my mic over in anger. Get out!
Maybe you should just be on the mic, Zach, if you really want to talk and stuff. Okay.
Okay, I also want to check out Truth or Dare.
Truth or Dare looks really cool.
Yeah, that looked... When that trailer came out, I'm like, okay, these dudes are just sitting in the room playing Truth or Dare. Okay, this is like your standard horror movie setup.
Did you notice the big standout in this is that it's called Blumhouse's Truth or Dare now? Are they going to start doing that, putting their name in the titles of their movies?
I'm thinking with this one may, instead of them like actually going out to someone and them just making the movie, I think this is maybe like their first true in-house production.
Oh, that's
Because think about it, Jordan Peele made Get Out. Blumhouse just produced
right.
it.
Yeah, they were just distributing movies before.
Yeah, this is like their
producing
first true in-house movie.
Well, that's pretty interesting. But
That's probably why they branded it that way, because this is like their own movie.
well, the general audience doesn't care.
No,
I'll tell you them that. But that's interesting for us, the guys that like that interesting information.
Yeah. Also, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I'm intrigued to
cannot wait to see that.
See where they go with that.
I want to see more of that, but that was an amazing teaser trailer.
Mm-hmm. Early Man, that looks funny.
That looks pretty funny.
That does look pretty funny.
That's a great from great studio and all that too.
Game Night.
That was actually funny.
They want to see that.
That looks like it's going to be sort of like the horrible how horrible Bosses was. It was a funny movie.
I just scrolled through and I saw a poster and it reminded me of the trailer I saw earlier
It was
today.
like Nomeo and Julie.
I got a headache now. Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes, yeah.
Oh God, that trailer gave me such a bad feeling in the pit of my stomach.
Man.
It's like everything you think a kids movie. Think of every bad kids movie trope you can think of.
Oh yeah.
It was in the trailer.
Oh yeah. But hey, it's got original music from Elton John in this one. Okay. So anyways,
Great Showman had a good soundtrack.
Good point. Touche. Did you see the trailer for Tully?
No.
The new Jason Reitman movie? So good. Or it looks good. It looks interesting. I don't want to say so good, but the trailer was pretty good. Mm-hmm. It was a nice little teaser. It looks interesting.
Oh, one more before we wrap this segment up. A few more.
What's up?
A Quiet Place.
Oh, that looks so good.
Yeah,
John Krasinski directing.
Yeah, I've actually paid attention to the trailer this time because the first time I saw the trailer, I was kind of like looking at it like, what is this?
It looks like an interesting concept, right?
Yeah, because then like they made a path. You see that they've made paths so they don't crack branches.
Right.
Step on creaky floorboards.
Not a peep.
They got cloth underneath the Monopoly board, so when they roll the dice, the sound of the dice doesn't make a noise.
That's pretty awesome.
Is there then like that,
learn sign language?
Yeah, they learn. They're like, how much of this movie is going to have no sound?
I know.
And then that's going to be an intriguing experiment. Yeah. Can you sell a movie with almost no dialogue?
And of course, in that trailer, the one sound that you do hear is a jump scare. That's the crap out of me.
When he breaks the lantern.
The lantern, yeah.
Yeah, and I think if that's the sound design they're going for, bring it on.
Yes. If this movie works, I think that one would probably be an interesting pick for best sound design for a movie.
Yeah, because like they said, it was so quiet that when they broke that lantern, it like jarred you, even though it was just a lantern.
Right.
So just imagine if some actual something happened.
Right.
How much more jarring would that be?
Yeah, and I want to know what they're hiding from. That's
what I want to know too. Also, Rampage looks interesting.
Rampage? Oh, right, Rampage, the new Rock movie. Yes.
Yeah, because Tomb Raider and Rampage sit in that same boat. Like, maybe this could be the good video game movie.
Right.
I don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see.
Yep.
But yeah, that's pretty much all the movies I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. There's nothing else on this list that I can think of yet. I mean, there's going to be obviously a lot of the indie movies that are going to pop up later on.
And there's also going to be stuff that we're not thinking about right now that comes out later.
Right.
Like they advertise like, oh, I forgot about that.
Because I mean, we neither of us mentioned Solo yet, and I'm waiting for the trailer on that.
I'm waiting for the trailer for Solo too. I'm withholding judgment.
Right.
Because like when they first announced Rogue One, yeah, the idea sounds cool, but until we see it, we don't know what to look forward to. Then when the Rogue One trailer came out, we were like, oh yeah, we're ready.
Yeah, because I think we're getting accustomed to how this new Star Wars is happening. So now we actually have to, just because it has the Star Wars name attached to it, we actually have to hold our judgments because we've both said negative things about these new Star Wars movies, not quite like us in a fanboy sort of way,
but just
in a technical sort of way.
And just one more movie for me anyway that I'm intrigued by, The Predator.
Oh yes, that one. That's like September, right?
Yeah.
I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, The Predator looks...
Shane Black directing. It's going to be so... I'm hoping it's so good. Shane Black is an excellent director.
I hope it's like a sequel to Predators. The last good Predator movie.
Okay. You're not talking about the one... That's not the one with Adrian Brody, are you talking about?
That's
it's not. It's not attached to that one. It's not. It's not. It can't be. It cannot possibly be.
Why not?
I think you and I have totally different opinions on Predators.
I thought Predators was a cool concept because it flipped the concept of the Predator movie.
Yeah, but Predators stood on its own. This is actually going to be...
No, it was actually what Predators was. It was the aliens to Predator.
Right.
It was like it took the concept of the first movie and flipped it on its head.
Yeah. Well, it's not. It's definitely not that. It's going to be more closely to the Schwarzenegger Predator, I believe. But anyways, I hear that it's going to. I believe they're going to like break out into a neighborhood or something. It's actually going to be more.
So it's going to be Alien versus Predator Requiem.
Sort of. Don't say it that way though.
I have to say it that way because that's what they did.
They did that, and we're supposed to forget about it.
No. Alien versus Predator is a franchise.
Let this stand on its own, please. Let's let this one.
Okay, you win. Own. I'll try to forget Requiem happened.
I will.
Even though I have friends that enjoyed that movie, I will pretend Requiem didn't happen.
It's only in my collection, so that way I have completed the collection. That's it.
I feel the same way like you. Like I have Fantastic Four and Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Right.
And as much as I hate Four Stick, I have to buy it because it completes the collection.
Right. I have to complete the collection. Whether it's just
like
an
if I
OCD
like
thing
go to
for
good,
me, I
like
guess.
if I go to Goodwill or something, they
know.
have it like for like $1 or $2 on like DVD. I'll buy it because it completes the collection. But I wouldn't spend no more than that on it. But it completes my collection for that movie.
It's a compulsion thing.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah. Okay. So the new Sin City doesn't. That's not what that is.
That's Den of Thieves.
Oh, Den of Thieves. No. Okay.
No, I'm not.
Skip that.
I'm not really. And we pretty much tackled everything there is to tackle here.
Yeah.
We've already talked about. Black Panther.
Black Panther. Yes.
How did I forget Black Panther?
We're only a month away.
Yeah, we're a month away from Black Panther. I can't wait.
And the soundtrack song is going to be pretty awesome. Kendrick Lamar.
Curating the whole soundtrack.
Yes.
It's going to be it's kind of like, see, to me, that was like when I found out Daft Punk was doing Tron Legacy. I was like,
it's perfect match.
Perfect casting. Perfect match. Not casting.
Yes.
He's not going to pop up in the movie.
Well, I think the reason why we forgot to say that was because I kind of brushed over the Marvel stuff.
Yeah,
we already know that we're waiting for all these Marvel movies.
Yeah, we kind of were looking for we kind of did say all the MCU stuff we're going to go see. So, I can't see.
I'm not looking forward to Maze Runner. So yeah, that's it.
That's it. We pretty much looked at all the stuff we're looking forward to next year. Maybe Mission Impossible 6.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
See what all the controversy behind the mustache was about.
See if it was worth it.
See if Paramount did some shady business with that.
All right, so we are going to do our movie reviews now, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So our first movie review that we are going to talk about is the movie Permanent. You did not see this movie. Mm-hmm. This was one that I actually watched on demand.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled this one. I actually saw like an advertisement for it on Facebook and thought it looked interesting just from the thumbnail. Or not from the thumbnail, but I guess the picture that was posted. It was like an awkward family photo style picture with Rainn Wilson, what's her name, Patricia Arquette, and can you pull up the movie Permanent on IMDb on there? I'm trying to pull it up so I can get everybody's names correct on here. I usually have everything ready to go for this, and I do not at the time, so
that's why I'm here to help.
Thank you. I'm just trying to do everything at once here. Okay, here we go. Sorry, you go ahead and you can pull it up on there too, because it's better to read on there.
Yeah, okay. I'm trying to.
Keira McLean.
What's that?
Keira McLean.
Well, yeah. The Keira McLean, who was the daughter in this movie. That was the three that were in the picture that I saw, the photograph of the awkward family photo. It was just advertised on Facebook, and I said, "Oh, that looks really interesting." Rainn Wilson movies are always really cool, so I went ahead and pulled it up on YouTube, which they had it to where you can stream it from there. So that's where I watched it, and it was really, really funny. It was a very interesting movie. What are you doing?
I'm trying to put it in like a kickstand mode.
Oh yeah, it's not very good at doing that.
I'm noticing that. So let's just
lay it flat like it was.
That's what I'm going to do. Because bye.
There we go.
I'm done.
Anyways, so what this movie is about? It's set in 1982. In just it just says pretty much anywhere in Virginia is how they set this movie, which was really funny because it did look a lot like some of the areas in Virginia that I've been to. So I didn't really know that it was actually shot in Virginia. So I looked that up and saw that it was actually shot out near Richmond, which is not too far from where we are right here in Hampton. So I thought that was really interesting. And then, anyways, so as far as the story goes, oh, man.
An ad popped up. I'm trying to take care of it.
Dang, there we go. Okay. So the movie's set in 1982. Mm-hmm. It's about a family that just moved to this area in Virginia. The dad, who's played by Rainn Wilson, was a steward for Air Force One. He was he was in the Air Force. So I guess he retires. They don't necessarily say, but either way, he's changing careers now to work in the medical field. So he gets a scholarship at, I believe it's a religious school in Virginia,
mm-hmm.
and that's basically the setup so far. So they put them in this setting, and the daughter, like I said, who's played by Keira McLean, is having to adjust to going to a new school, meeting all these new people. And she notices that a lot of the girls in this area, and it's this new trend, at the time was a new trend, were getting their hairs permed.
I wondered where the term, why you were describing the story, I said, wait, where's permanent coming into play? Perms.
Right.
Got it.
So the family does not come from a lot of money. They're, like I said, they're adjusting to this new lifestyle. Is going to school, so they don't have a lot of money to pay for her to get her hair permed. So they take her to a beauty school and let a student take care of her perm, which was a pretty big mistake because she has to rock this really interesting do for the rest of the film. And it's really charming movie. There's a lot of really funny parts, a lot of clever writing, and the characters are likable. All these characters are really likable. Rainn Wilson is believable as the dad that kind of relates a little more to the daughter, but the mom really seems to be taking this transition the hardest. So she feels like her husband isn't quite living up to his potential that he can, and he realizes that, but doesn't try to let it bother him too much, but bothers her a little bit more because she doesn't see him relating to her much or noticing these issues that she has. Mm-hmm. So she's a lot more artistic, where he's a little more straight edge than he is. He's got that whole military
type A, type B,
type B personalities. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So there's a lot of personality clash, which makes for an interesting dramatic dynamic between the two of them. And then, but the situations that the daughter goes through, she's trying to help keep the parents happy, and while also trying to get through her time at this new school, where she gets bullied now because of this haircut, and she makes some friends with this African American girl that's theirs, who's at this time is actually being bullied because of race. So there's also some racial tones in this, or notes in this movie that which is interesting. So now there's some parts where you can tell that this movie was made on a really tight budget, but they cleaned it up really well. So there's some pretty funny fight scenes between. I want to call it like a fight scene because she goes to a karate school. The daughter goes to a karate school, which is. They're going on a free trial basis, so they're not actually paying, and it's really not like a real legitimate karate, seemed like anyway, school that she goes to learn to fight. And her fight, I don't want to spoil it because her technique for fighting is pretty funny, and it receives a really funny reaction from one of the characters in the movie, who's like the main bully, who's played by Kaylee Jo Keller, which was really... she had a pretty funny reaction to this Keira McLean character's fighting technique that I think is probably the funniest line in the entire movie, to be honest with you. So I'm not going to spoil what she says. You guys need to definitely check out the movie Permanent. If you have checked it out, which I don't know, it's getting a lot of love at some of the film festivals it's been playing at, but as far as it being picked up everywhere else, it's not. I don't see it getting a lot of acknowledgement, which is pretty sad because it's a really good movie. So guys, if you have not checked out Permanent, make sure you check it out. It's a very funny movie, very charming, really nice little indie film for you guys to see, and it's got a lot of people in it that I didn't know were from this area. And I know Zach is friends with some of the characters' family, which is pretty cool. One of the characters in the movie, I'm not gonna say who, but it's pretty cool. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and move on to... What's up? Oh, score! Score. I forgot we score movies here, right?
Yeah, you talk about a movie and then move on to the next one. Okay, score.
Okay, well, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. The half is... the third act isn't...
as sharp as
it needed to be, but it still plays off nicely. But still, 9.5 out of 10. So, guys, like I said, 9.5 out of 10. If you know how I score movies, that's a pretty high score. So, definitely go check out Permanent. Anyways, now the next movie, Proud Mary. This is not one that I saw. This is one that you saw today.
I saw it today, a few hours ago, actually. And, yeah, new Taraji P. Henson movie. It was Screen Gems made it. It fills in that slot that would usually be filled by a Resident Evil or Underworld movie. Female-driven action movie.
Right.
And in the plot line of this scenario is she plays Mary, she's a member of a crime family that runs a member of a crime family that runs a certain section of the Boston Underground, but she actually just trying to find a way out. And then on one of her assignments, she kills a bookie, but then finds the bookie's son in another room, and then feels guilty about it. And then like a year later, you find that she's been following the boy, even though he's been like a drug runner for one of her family's rivals, as it were. And she winds up finding the boy unconscious in the alley, taking her home, going back to his employer, and winds up killing him in the room. So that creates so then this family believes it was that family believes it was an orchestrated hit by her family, so that it kind of creates like a territory war in Boston.
Right.
Her actions. So she's balancing the act of hiding this kid from them, hiding the fact that she created this territory war, and then playing all sides against each other, and still trying to find a way out and all that. That sounds like it's an interesting movie, doesn't it?
Right.
Too bad they didn't execute any of that very well.
Oh, man.
It was very pedestrian.
Really?
Like, you can like watch the movie and go, if the movie's only 88 minutes long.
Right.
And usually that includes credits.
Yeah.
So it's short. It's short and very lean movie. There's really almost half the scenes in the movie are established by a car pulling up.
Oh my god. That's
really? How they establish a scene in the movie. Like, it's either her car, one of the crime family's cars. Every time they go somewhere new, they always have a city shot, car shot, pull up, and that's how all the scenes are established. For this to be an action movie, there really wasn't much action either. There was like maybe 2 shootouts. There was one kind of towards the beginning, a quick one near the beginning, and there's the big one at the end. But that was about it.
Man. And looking at the cast in this movie, not a lot of recognizable people except for Taraji P. Henson and maybe Neil McDonough. I know plays a lot of.
And Danny Glover's in this movie too.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Okay,
he played his role. He did what Danny Glover does.
Yeah.
He shows up, plays his role well, and then that's it. He played like her. As you watch the movie, it's revealed that she's not quite like in the family. She was more in the same case as the kid she found, where they found her, they took her in, and then like she works for them, but he treated her like a daughter of sorts. But now that she wants out, he makes it clear that I own you, kind of thing. So then you can obviously know what happens there. It's like I said, you can watch this movie. You can watch the first few minutes in the movie, watch the pieces get put in place, and you realize and you can figure out how this movie ends pretty early.
Yeah.
And so then as you're sitting there watching it, and you go, "Yep, I predicted that. Yep, I predicted that." Oh, it's this scene in the movie where Mary gets hurt, and then the kid feels he has to protect her now. That scene comes up, and then they do the whole dramatic reveal of she's not who she says she is, kind of thing, and then it's like.
So this was directed by Babak Najafi, who's he's directed a lot of foreign films, but his most recent film is London Has Fallen. London Has Fallen, the absolute terrible sequel to Olympus Has Fallen, which is actually a fairly good movie.
But that was Antoine Fuqua, wasn't it?
Yeah, Antoine Fuqua did the first one.
Yeah, that's and it's very clear that there's a difference. There's a difference.
So, can you see that directing style in this film?
And it was less racist.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's a good one.
Yeah, it was less racist than London Has Fallen. It was everybody who got killed because of who they were as people, not just because of other reasons.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
Yeah, but it was very bland, pedestrian. Running your. It almost felt like where John Wick had a very basic premise. They built a world around the premise, so like after a while, you stop caring about the motivation. You just wanted to see more of this world. Proud Mary didn't do any of that.
Right.
It was just basically you buy the books, hitman kills target, hitman finds out target has child, hitman feels regret, hitman takes in child, a child becomes the quote unquote son / daughter they never had.
Right.
And now they both are fighting to find a way out of the world they put themselves in. And then that's the story. If you've seen one, you've seen Proud. If you've seen one movie like that, you've seen Proud Mary.
Okay.
And it didn't I will say this: Taraji P. Henson did play her role very well as Mary.
Oh yeah.
She added the amount of drama and
Grit.
and drama, grit, and everything you needed for a character like Mary. She just wasn't given anything other than that to work with. The story could have been a little better. Could have had a little more style to it. It was very like it even presented blandly. Like the opening credits was like the only style the movie had. Everything else was just you buy the books, establishing shot. There was no clever camera angles or nothing to play with. It was just all basic.
Yeah.
There was really nothing there. And then when they do decide to actually play the title song "Proud Mary," it's in a very random, weird, and undeserved place.
Oh man. Okay.
Yes, it was. I wouldn't say it was like would I put it in my worst of the year list of 2018? No. But would I go back and watch it again? No.
Okay.
So it's right in the middle of the road, 5 out of 10.
I was gonna just ask you what was your rating. So 5 out of 10.
Yeah, it's very by the books, and if you do things by the books but give it its own style, it could work.
Okay.
But they didn't do that here.
Yeah. Okay, so a formulaic action film.
Very formulaic. It was like reading the instructions on. Like he went to the grocery store and brought generic action movie cereal, and generic grocery store action movie, and just read the directions on how to make one, and just followed it beat for beat, and then that's all you did. No accoutrements or nothing.
Okay. All right. So 5 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Proud Mary, guys. If you have seen Proud Mary, let us know what you thought about it. If you have not seen Proud Mary and you just saw this review, do you still want to go see Proud Mary? And if so, let us know. Leave us some comments, guys.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to move on to our next review. The Shape of Water. What's up? Oh, Zach's phone's at 1%, so he's charging it. Okay, anyways. The Shape of Water. You did not go see The Shape of Water.
Mm-mm.
I went to go see The Shape of Water. I actually watched this one with Zach. We were both pretty excited to see this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Looked really great from the trailers. I was hearing some pretty great things. Obviously, Guillermo del Toro was won for Best Picture at the Golden Globes, which ain't saying much to me.
Director.
Best Director. Yeah, Best Director. Sorry.
Yeah, 2 other movies won Best Picture already.
I'm so sorry. Best Director. Thank you.
Yeah,
Best Director. Thank you for catching me.
I caught you on that one because if we had uploaded it with that still in there, comment section explosion.
Oh, I would take it though. I would take it. I would take anything, guys. Leave me some comments.
Okay, Best Picture then.
Okay, no. Okay, so Best Director. I don't like I said, I don't recognize fake award shows.
Yeah, okay.
So Best Director.
Not my award show.
Hashtag not my award show. Okay, so. Anyways, all right, Arch. Sorry, Archie the dog is right over here. Anyways, so. The Shape of Water. Let me try to set this movie up here. This movie is set during the Cold War era, so early 60s. Okay, yeah, sorry, early 60s. What's up?
I thought the Cold War was like 70s, 80s territory, or did it run that long?
It started early 60s.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
Forgive me.
All right, so anyways, the Cold War era. So, set in the early 60s in Baltimore. Early 60s Baltimore. Michael Shannon plays a colonel in the military. And I didn't say who he served for. I'm assuming maybe Army or something. I don't know. He plays a colonel. And he... they don't show this part, but they set it up to where it's saying where he locates this fishman creature. And the fishman creature is taken to a military research facility where they want to run tests on it and try to keep it from the Russians and all. So that's basically the setup for the movie. The characters, the character Elise, who's played by Sally Hawking, and her translator, who's played by Octavia Spencer. They're both janitors in this research facility. And as janitors do, they clean up in this area where they keep the fishman, and Elise, like I said, who's played by Sally Hawking's character, develops a relationship. Well, develops loosely a relationship with this fishman.
But we'll say like he establishes a connection.
Yes. No, it establishes a connection with this. But like I said, I wanted to use develop loosely because the development is kind of forced in this movie. There's not a lot of time given to that relationship to make it believable. It kind of just rushes into her romantic relationship with the fishman, played by who's the dude playing the fishman? Do you remember?
Doug Jones.
Doug Jones.
Yeah, anytime you see a creature in a Guillermo del Toro movie,
yes,
Doug Jones.
Yep. Now, I should point out that Pan's Labyrinth is by far, if I were to make a top 10 favorite movies of all time, Pan's Labyrinth is in that top 10 list. So Guillermo del Toro is has made one of my favorite movies of all time, which is Pan's Labyrinth. And since then, he had not made a movie close that I felt was as good as Pan's Labyrinth, and this comes very close to that. Not very close. Close to that. It comes close to that. Closer than his other tries, anyways. But this was a very good movie. The cinematography is outstanding in this movie. The set design, beautiful. All the shots. It felt like a tribute to some older filmmaking. Some of the classic films. You can tell that there was a lot of influence from older films in this movie. There's an out-of-place musical number in this movie. It's a dream sequence, but it's an out-of-place musical number in this movie. But like I said, the movie felt long, so the pacing felt a little off in this movie. It felt very long when it wasn't really all that long. The movie was only 2 hours and 3 minutes. So we were checking our watch a few times in this movie because it felt like it dragged on a little bit. And the third act was predictable, which is not what you want in the third act, I guess.
The third act in a movie like this.
But much like Pan's Labyrinth, this is a dark fairy tale movie. There's a lot of, not a lot, but there's quite a bit of gore in this movie. Some violence, and there's there's quite a bit of foul language, but this movie overall is an amazing performance piece for everybody. Sally Hawking, amazing performance in this movie, without really having to say anything. She expresses emotion so well in this film that probably is maybe how you were able to feel this connection between her and the fishman, because of how well she performed it. And Doug Jones, he did okay. I mean, he I don't know what to say about his performance. He played a fishman. So.
Yeah, he had to play a fishman falling in love with a human woman.
Yeah, he's no what's the other guy's name that does the motion capture?
Andy Serkis.
So there's no Andy Serkis performance here.
Because, but can you really compare the two performances?
You can't. There's no emotion from this thing.
Because you got to take into account that Doug Jones's makeup.
Right.
He's actually there in the makeup as that creature.
So as far as the eye test, he works. He works pretty well. But I mean, like I said, there's not much for him to work with. So I shouldn't compare the two. If we're being honest, I shouldn't compare him with Andy Serkis, because Andy Serkis is outstanding whenever he does what he has to do. Mm-hmm. Where this is a little bit different. I mean, he does what Doug Jones does well in like Hellboy and stuff like that. He's excellent, and he was really good in like Pan's Labyrinth.
What they need to do with sidebar for a moment, before we bring up Andy Serkis, they need to do like they did with Snow White they did that year. There was no animation category,
Right.
so they made a special category and then gave Snow White the award.
Right.
Make a special award just for Andy Serkis.
Right. Well, the mocap is becoming more common in action films nowadays. Anyway, like the Marvel movies, almost every one of them has some kind of mocap, or even some of the Disney animated movies.
Yeah, but they're still not getting the respect that it deserves.
Right. So you can actually have some competition now. If you really needed it. But it would become the Andy Serkis award probably, because he does do it the best.
Yeah, he really does.
Anyways, back to The Shape of Water. Anyways. Yes. Like I said, cinematography was great. Music in here was pretty cool. It's got a great score. But like I said, the biggest issues here was the pacing and some of the character development. There was a side story, I would call it, with Michael Stuhlbarg, or I want to say his name, Stuhlbarg, I think is what his name is. Stuhlbarg, no R, Stuhlbarg's character. That they could have spent less time on, so that way they could have developed the relationship between Elise and the Fishman, but they didn't, so that was not the best thing. But Richard Jenkins' character, Giles, who plays basically Elise's best friend outside of work, he had a really cool story. Richard Jenkins, this is probably one of his best performances in a while. He's a great actor, so he always gives 110% anytime, and he's a great supporting character in any movie he's in. Mm-hmm. So he had a really cool, really heartbreaking, because that's the biggest theme in this movie, is that all these characters have some sort of void that can't be filled. And if you want to know what can fill, or what shape can fill these voids, it's the shape of water.
I see what you did there. Because it's the only thing that could take the shape it needs to take.
Yes, to fill these voids. Mm-hmm. So, that's his character struggles with or I don't know what to say, not abandonment, but he's very low. All these characters, ultimately, if you boil all their voids down to, it's loneliness. So Elise doesn't, like I said, she has no companion. Neither does Richard Jenkins' character, which they establish why he has this lack of companionship pretty well in the movie. And like Octavia Spencer, she's in a terrible marriage. So I mean, like I said, there's all these characters have their own little voids, and you find out how all of this can be established in this film. So what would I give this movie as far as a score? Mm-hmm. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10. So no. Yeah, 8.5. I'm happy with 8.5.
Okay.
I was maybe going up to like 8.9 to give it like a B plus, but 8.5 feels better.
Yeah. Okay.
Feels more proper.
Okay.
So, like I said, guys, I would recommend you go see this movie. Definitely in a theater. What was I going to say? Sorry. If you have not seen Shape of Water, does our review make you want to go see it? If you have seen Shape of Water, let us know what you thought about it. Mm-hmm. Let us know in the comments what you think of Shape of Water. And if you agree with me, definitely let me know. If you don't agree with me, still let me know, but in a polite way.
Yes.
So, anyways, I think we have one more review to do. All right, and this is... Two more reviews to do, because you have one and I have one more. So this is your review for Paddington 2.
Yes.
I did not see Paddington 2.
Yes, I saw Paddington 2 today as well. It was a busy day for me. 2 movies in one day. Go me.
Boy.
Yeah. But Paddington 2. It's a good thing I saw Paddington 2 first, because this movie made me so happy. Just talking about it is making my cheeks hurt again, because it was just so... I want Paddington as my friend. I want Paddington. If I was thinking,
you'll say you'll have a bear-shaped void in your
the door. I'm throwing you out of your own studio.
The shape of bear.
The shape of bear. Yeah, I have a bear-shaped void in my heart, and only a bear can feel it. Yeah, that because just the opening moment of the movie made me go, oh no, cynicism's not needed here. This is actually gonna make me smile. I'm actually happy. I actually enjoyed this movie from the opening moment because because the thing about Paddington, it knows what it wants to be, and it strives to be that very well.
Right.
It's not trying to be the next, pop culture reference here, pop culture reference there. Quick throw our branding in here. Quick add the newest song and dance here. No, it's like we're telling a timeless story about a bear living in London after being raised by his adoptive aunt and uncle in Peru, and how he learned English and all this. And this is like clearly a fantasy story, but told in a very clever way. It doesn't feel like they're pandering to people. It doesn't feel like they're like trying to coax people into feeling emotion. They're naturally creating situations that will just draw out emotions out of people. You enjoy seeing Paddington happy, and when he's not, you kind of like want to just reach out and give him a hug.
Right.
Anytime something bad happens, it's like, and that's a good sign that this movie makes me care for this character like this. And like the story was very well done. It was a very simple story that I've heard other people say that in another movie would have messed up by adding too much of the tropes and everything.
Oh yeah, like I said, what's the movie called? Lady Bird. I said that about Lady Bird too.
They could have easily.
A simple story.
It's a simple story. They could have easily messed up, but with the heart and charm they added to it all, it overshadowed the basic premise of the story. But it pretty much is like the antithesis of Proud Mary, where they both tell simple, basic stories. But the way one told the story over the other made me enjoy the one even more.
I wonder if that's where most of these terrible children's movies, like Emoji Movie, and
Emoji Movie was just a bad idea from the word go.
But I mean, even some of the ones like Peter Rabbit and Trolls. I'm not saying Trolls and stuff are bad movies.
I've heard Trolls is actually a good movie,
yeah.
So you can.
But there's the way that they execute these movies where they put so much extra stupid stuff in it, like these dumb dancing things that they do, instead of actually just having a focused story.
Yeah.
Or they have to add a lot of stupid stuff. If that's like something that they've tested on children or something, and this just works better for them than they do. Mm-hmm. But I mean, that's what I actually finally watched the first Paddington today. And I can agree that they took out all the stupid stuff and had like a focused, simple story. Mm-hmm. And it worked.
And it worked very well because it actually was about the characters.
Right.
It wasn't about the setting. It wasn't about, how do we get this how do we make this thing hip and happening to the kids? It was about telling a timeless story just like the old Paddington books.
Right.
Like this movie 30 years down the line will still be good because there's no pop culture references to make it outdated.
Right.
There's no technology in the movie to make it outdated.
That's the other thing. So I should have pointed out. Yeah.
Yeah. There really is no time or place this movie takes place in.
Right. That's what that's.
It's kind of like it's set in it's like an alternative London where time doesn't really exist. Like the most modern tech in this movie was an answering machine.
Wow.
There really is no internet. There's really no internet because one of the focal points of the story was the fact that the daughter runs a printing press.
Right.
Today's kid, if they was made in other hands, that printing press would have been a blog.
Right.
So, but that's what makes the charm of this movie cool is the fact that it actually made sense in this world that she would have a paper because she has a printing press.
That felt like a nice little throwback.
And like a nice little throwback, and it also fit the plot.
Right.
It wasn't just there because to give her a quirky character arc. It was actually served the purpose of the story because when something happened in the movie, I'm trying not to spoil it because I want everyone to go see this movie. She actually could turn that into a tool to help her solve what's going on. Mm-hmm. Everybody had something with them that helped them help the story later on. And
I heard that there's a really cool pop-up book sequence at the beginning of this movie.
Oh, very cool pop-up book sequence, which is like he finds the book, he's flipping through it, and then it was like it's like actually a daydream.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he's like seeing like his again, I don't want to spoil. He's seeing someone he's buying the book for on the boat that's coming into the city, and then he's like taking her through the city as he turns the pages of the pop-up book.
Right.
So like he would like see the one page of the city street, and then he'd like say, "Come follow me," and they would go into a tunnel, and as they're going downstairs, he would turn the page, and they would come out in a different part of the city through the tunnel that's on the next page.
Right. And one thing I liked about the first Paddington, which I'm hoping is the same thing that happens in the second one, is that it was a very funny movie. Great jokes in it, but it didn't insult your intelligence.
Exact. Paddington 2 has that as well.
Good.
Like the barbershop sequence,
yes,
that was hilarious.
Okay.
It didn't feel like it was like there just to be there. It actually was like funny, very well put together, and it didn't have like that cliched. It didn't have the cliched like, well, this is there just for the trailer kind of moment.
Right.
It was actually there to serve a story point too.
That's great.
It was actually really well done. There are a lot of the cast list is actually kind of small, surprisingly enough, but because these characters keep popping back up later in the movie.
Right.
They're not just one and done characters. It's like they're actually a part of the town, and that's a cool touch that these characters are there.
And how was Hugh Grant in this film?
Oh, he was excellent. He's like a actor, stage classically trained actor who's gone a little crazy.
So kind of like a Hugh Grant type.
Yeah, he's kind of like playing like an exaggerated version of himself.
Oh, that's awesome.
But he's having fun with it. It's not like a mean portrayal. It's
right.
He's like just letting loose.
Okay.
And unlike in a Johnny Depp way where it gets annoying, it's
right.
like, wow, this is really genuinely funny. Okay. And like he's like this one scene where he's up in the attic like talking about how his plan is working, and what makes it clever is that every time he would say something and he changed his voice a little bit, that's because he's talking as another one of the costumes in the attic. So then he'll like turn and tell that costume to silence yourself or something because the costume would like doubt him.
Right.
And it's very clever how like he put this little touch of crazy on him, but didn't go full wild hair screaming every 10 seconds.
Right.
It was very cool, clever, very funny. I recommend Paddington 2 a lot. I can't say enough about this movie.
One more person, because we have to just point out that this is the second time we're going to mention her.
Oh,
Sally Hawkins.
Oh, she was good in this movie too. She was like, she played the one that believed in Paddington no matter what.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, it actually warmed your heart that when there's one scene where the family does something and they feel bad about it, and you feel that they genuinely feel bad. It's not like the movie's like, well, the script says they're supposed to feel bad at this moment.
Right.
The movie is like, no, the way these people are, they genuinely feel bad.
Wow.
So they actually convey their emotions really well, and the fact that what they did was like, it seemed like in the way they set up what they did, it fit the theme of the movie too. It was like really well done how everything planned together. It didn't feel like nothing was forced.
Okay.
So I have no complaints. So when I have reading across a movie like this, there's only one thing I can give it.
Oh no. What's that? The whole 10 out of 10. Dang.
I left this
in a January movie.
I can't technically call this a January movie because it came out in November in UK.
November in UK, yeah, that's true.
And I think that might be the movie's greatest strength.
Really?
That it's not an American production.
Right.
They actually, because if it was an American production, we would have gotten a lot of those things that we would talk about we didn't want.
Unfortunately, yeah, I agree with you.
With it being a UK production, they actually treated the subject matter seriously.
Yeah. And
actually crafted the world of Paddington from the book in a movie and made it believable. You didn't point out the things that, like when you were watching the movie, you didn't ask yourself, well, why didn't they go on the internet?
Right.
Because you believed the world of the movie.
Yeah.
Because this movie was in this weird little area where that kind of stuff may not exist because there's still steam engines and things. Yeah. So you kind of go, okay, this is not the London I know, but this is still London.
Right.
Let's go. And you pulled me into believing everything that this world has to offer, and I'm down for the ride. So it's like things like that don't feel anachronistic or
right.
whatever. It doesn't feel like out of place that these things don't exist because they showing me in the world that these things don't exist.
Gotcha. Okay, well, that's, you hear, guys, a 10 out of 10 in our January anyway.
Yeah,
January movies. Paddington 2. So clearly, you would recommend everybody go see this movie.
I recommend adults, children alike, go see Paddington.
That's awesome. So, guys, if you've seen Paddington 2, let us know what you thought about it. If you have not, does this review make you excited to go see it? So let us know in the comments, guys. We really want to hear from you.
Because I really wanted to see the first Paddington when it came out, and I never got a chance to. And I still haven't seen the first one.
Yeah.
And that's a testament to this one. I haven't seen the first Paddington, and I enjoyed this one a whole lot.
Well, guys, if you have not seen the first one, it is available to view on Netflix. I learned today. So, like I said, I saw Paddington 1 today. Thought it was amazing. I would probably agree with you. 10 out of 10 for that, but that's my little review for it, I guess. So it's much of the same thing of what he said. It's just it's a super cute movie. I loved it. It's very funny.
Paddington 3, bring it on. I want another one.
I can't wait to bring us some more.
Bring us more Paddington, please, because if you keep this quality up, we could have another. I want more Paddington because he's just so. If we were thinking straight, we'd have dressed Archie as Paddington.
Yeah.
If we were thinking straight, we'd have got him a little blue jacket and a red hat and watched him fight to take it off.
Yeah, that's exactly what he would have done too. All right, guys. So our last review of the night. Insidious, The Last Key. I'll have to admit, Insidious, the franchise is not one of my favorite horror movie franchises. I think if I had to pick a horror movie franchise at the moment that was really working for me, for the most part anyway, that's the Conjuring. I really like the Conjuring franchise. As far as the more focused Conjuring, and I really liked Annabelle Creation. I didn't care for the first one of that one.
No one did.
Yeah. So
even though it made all the money in the world, no one did.
So I was not super excited about seeing Insidious: The Last Key, and to be honest with you, I had forgotten it was even coming out this week until I was looking and said, okay, we're going to watch something. Mm-hmm. So I watched, like I said, the Insidious: The Last Key. Directed by Adam Robitel. I don't know what else he's done, but anyways, it's not that important. This movie is focused more on the Elise character, who's the psychic character from the previous movies. It focuses strictly on her, which is really cool because she's an interesting character, and who's played very well by Lynn Shay, who's... Uh-oh. Oh, no. Zach! Come here.
We got a warning that we did not like.
I forgot to plug the charger in. Sorry, our camera is dying, and I forgot to plug in the charger. The charger's over here. Sorry, I'm wanting us to make sure that's taken care of before we complete. No, that's not a charger. Is that a charger? The charger, camera charger. It's not that either. It's over here. It's one of these camera chargers. Nope, not that. It's what looks like a camera charger. Sorry. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, step away.
Let me step away for just a second. Can you talk?
I haven't seen any of the Insidious movies neither. I wanted to see the first one. It intrigued me. And like I said, I've said it in all the shows before. I'm not much of a horror guy, but I'm intrigued when horror does something interesting.
Oh, come on. Keep talking, though. We're still on camera.
Okay, well, we're lost. You can't see me, but you can hear me, which is kind of fitting. We're in the dark for a horror movie. All right. I wanted to see the Insidious movies. They looked intriguing to me. They kind of had the same thing that happened with like the Paranormal Activity movies. I wanted to see it. Saw it. I enjoyed the first two. 3 was kind of 4 was unnecessary. And the marked ones that